Boys, just calm down. We don't need to throw punches just yet.
I just watched 3 premierships in 4 years just to watch this shit again.
The big angry men who run around in fashion bodies.
If I see anyone complain or say they can swap Martinelli for Matt and Mbappe, that's their
I'm just dreaming of beers. Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Uneducated Nuffies, episode 34, I believe we're up to.
Yes.
34.
Congratulations.
You may notice something already listening to this audio and thinking, wow, this sounds really crisp right
I would laugh if you're wrong about this now.
Yeah, we've upgraded equipment.
Have we?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. We've got good equipment now.
I definitely didn't go do that today.
This is all for the tax man. Thanks, tax man.
Thank you, Alvo
We're
Taxman.
gonna say it's the tax man so I can write it off. But yes, we've upgraded equipment. New roadcaster. We're looking brilliant today. But before we go into the main gist of the show, boys, we'll start with you, Jimmy. How was your weekend?
I had a good weekend. Yesterday I splurged out of it. I went to the Hawthorn Centenary match. Saw a big show going on. One of the things I want to talk about is the amount of fireworks that was going on. Bit over the top.
Really?
Loud. Yeah.
Really?
Also, their colours are terrible. So when the mist of the colours goes up, they got to pick between piss and shit.
That's why we call them the peas and woos.
Yeah, they picked the piss colour and
The
it was
woos.
just,
the peas
The
and
woos.
oh my god. They picked the piss colour. So it was just yellow mist in my face for like 4 minutes.
Yeah, good from both on that. It was good to see Dipper back. Dipper's come out of hibernation.
My favorite part was when they were on the tunnel giving sandwiches, hug them. Hug. Hug them.
It's like a bunch
If
of
you don't
untrained
hug
pets.
them, you're not woke.
It's a bunch of untrained pets
Okay.
at Hawthorn.
Hold on. Do we get political just then?
No, no.
Oh,
No more
not
political
politics.
views.
Political pod's back, guys.
No, 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 no.
I thought we got away with this.
No,
Gonna
no,
get
no.
cancelled again.
No, we just won't get ads again.
No, cancelled.
There goes the
Cancelled.
chance for sponsorship.
No, this will be fun. We're actually speaking positively.
The US are going to ban us again.
Yeah,
Johnsy, what did you do on the weekend?
I voted.
Like the rest of us.
Yeah,
Like the
More
whole
what?
country did.
yeah. I had to wait 45 minutes
Hey,
in
some people
line.
would have copped the fine.
What, the $20 fine?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's actually not too
I
bad.
didn't cop the fine. I actually.
I actually had to do a warning for my team members to not forget to vote before going to work because the fine's not worth working the 5 hours they would be.
$20.
No, it's not.
Is it more?
It's like over 200 now.
Oh,
Well,
jeez.
that's
I
woke.
could buy some things
That's
with
woke.
What things?
that.
What thing? No. Describe what thing you were going to
We can
mention.
get 1/4 of the roadcaster. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Anyway,
Oh,
do you know what I had to do to make sure I didn't get talked to by every single person?
You just walked through the voting booth and voted.
No, because I had to wait in line for 45 minutes.
gee, that's a shocker, mate.
Where was it you went to go vote?
I'm not saying that.
Splurge, put it out. Tell us what electorate you're in.
It's
tell
a-
us your home address.
It's a Labour safe seat electorate.
Most of the country's that.
Well, now it is, yeah. No, but I don't think since this electorate has existed, it has been Labour every single time.
I wonder why.
You in Melbourne?
Anyway, do you know the ultimate mega strat not to get anyone to talk to you ever again?
What is it?
Put headphones on and stand blankly in the distance. I had to wait while all the socialists were trying to chew off everyone around me. I stared like this the whole time for 40 minutes in line. So
Well,
no
did
one
you
could-
actually have music on or was it just nothing? You were
Oh,
just
I had music
bluffing?
on,
Did you
but
use your phone?
no, I stared.
Just raw dogged
I
the
raw
line.
dogged.
That's
with
hard because
music.
I was in the line for like 15 minutes and I had to go on my phone the whole time.
Yeah, I was in line for like 5 minutes and I got bored.
I was there for 45.
That's impressive.
I wanted to die because I had to go to work afterwards.
That's why I pre-voted. Just get it done with.
I should have done
Should we
that.
get political and tell us who we voted for?
No.
No, I'm not going to go that far.
Anyway, voting sucks.
Yes.
And no democracy sausage. That was the bigger.
No
war,
democracy.
that was the war crime.
disgrace.
That's a fraud.
That's the war crime.
Because that's the best part about it. Is
That's
the
the
snag
only reason you
afterwards.
go. You get a coffee and a
I
sausage.
didn't have breakfast. I went there going, oh, I better get a snag after this.
Now, important question. Would you have got onions on the sausage?
Yes.
Good. Jimmy, you and onions on sausage?
Oh no, but
Oh, I'm half. I don't really like onions.
I love onions.
go work, go broke. Bunnings doesn't do it anymore. So
They
I
don't.
do onions.
No,
No, man.
and,
So-
and they're more
No, 'cause I
expensive.
remember they had to do it underneath because someone slipped over the
I
onions.
believe that they had to stop completely.
Yeah,
That's
and
so
they're more
what-
expensive now. They're
this
not
is
$2.
just a
They're
woke podcast now.
hey, they're not $2 anymore. They're like $2.50 or $3. I can't remember. I haven't had a bunny snag in years.
The
Anyway,
game's gone.
what did you do on the weekend, man?
What did I do? I had a very eventful weekend. I obviously worked at Amy Park a lot, but on Friday night, we had our local cricket presentation at. So I'll tell the club because we love our club, Ainsley Park Cricket Club. We had it at Nico's Tavern. So that was
Familiar.
the funny thing at the start. Went there, we smashed a lot of plates. Good
It's
amount
great.
of fun. It's a
Oh, I
great
was gonna
restaurant.
say, smashing lots of plates. Is this a Greek wedding?
Yeah, it was a great. Yeah.
It's a great restaurant.
It's a good restaurant, decent food. But didn't eat enough food, so the beers went down a bit too quickly. But I made a return to the place I dared not to return to.
The Dorset.
I made my end up at the Dorset. I now realise why I don't go there because it has gotten even shitter.
How? It's already the worst place of all time.
This is very niche for all the listeners.
If you know the
If
Dorset,
you know the Dorset, you understand my opinion. I walked in, and the first thing, I go to the bar, get a drink, and the first thing that happens, a 60-year-old comes and taps my shoulders asking me, "Hey, babe." I said no. Flat out refused it. We've seen my friend do it before. I've learnt my lesson. I've learnt my lesson. No. We're not doing this. I've learnt my time. Move on. So I probably only spent about an hour in there, but I had to get out of there. I knew it was best for business for me to get out there
business.
before anything turns south.
oh my god.
So you willingly say the highest age you've gone to on the podcast?
No, it wasn't me.
No, but you yourself.
I may have done some war crimes.
no, no.
Streets never forget Dorset, April 2023.
I don't care. I don't care.
Absolutely, the Crows were robbed. Right in front of me.
We're going to engage with our mind.
Do you think they didn't come to play? Do you think they sat in their cars waiting for the game to start then go out there?
All right, guys. Another week in the AFL done. Round 8. We're going to rename this round Chopstick Round,
Yeah.
just for the amount of absolute chopstick games that were played. I reckon there was at least 4 or 5.
There was only one good game I thought we had for the round.
I would
Possibly two.
I'd say
one definitely really good, like 2, maybe 2 or 3 other okay games.
yeah, probably.
Lots
I'd
of
say
shockers.
the 2 of the Sunday games weren't chopstick games.
Yeah, Brisbane
Yeah.
Gold Coast slightly, but it was raining a bit, so you can let them off.
They get tariffed for that.
Okay, no more politics.
Sorry.
But let's start with probably the game that we thought we didn't have much hope for. We thought Thursday night footy couldn't get any worse last week when we watched Melbourne play Richmond. Well, I think we've found a game that's topped it.
No, this was still better than that game.
This is still better because at least it was close.
You got a funny ending.
Yeah,
A very funny ending.
North versus Essendon. Jimmy, as the resident Essendon fan on this podcast, what were your thoughts? Walk and talk with us.
while I was there, I went to the game with a fellow mate of mine who's a North fan.
Friend of the pod, actually.
friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod number one.
Yeah. So the first quarter was great. I watched that and I was like, it's probably the best footy we played all year. It was smooth.
First half almost.
Second quarter was still okay. We started playing above our level, like trying to do things we cannot do. And then from the second half onwards was an absolute shit show.
Yeah. I forgot how to defend.
The minute Ridley goes out with another injury, of course.
Glass man.
Yeah.
Watching that boundary side was a hard watch after halftime.
Yeah.
It was hard.
I think next week we need to do a glass man 18. The
Yeah,
18
we
glass man
could, we
is-
could really fill that
Who
out.
can't stay healthy? I also have intel actually why they close the roof every game now at Marvel.
Can you explain? Because it wasn't that hot on Thursday
It wasn't
night.
that hot, but
I didn't feel like I was dying.
the AFL.
Brad Scott was.
We found out from the AFL that the reason they close the roof every game now is to create an even advantage for each team each week. So some teams don't get when the sun's out nice and shiny, and it might rain at some point. So to close it, it's an even playing field for each team in Marvel.
But if it's raining, there's an even playing field because both teams have to play in the rain.
Yeah, just
No, but it's for even teams through all the competition when they play at Marvel.
how can it be even when you're playing North? They already got a disadvantage. Because I want to point that out because now that I know what happened with all the injuries that Essendon got, down to 1 on the bench for the
Yep.
last 5 minutes. How did North not win that? We literally gifted it to him on a plate.
Because someone decided that they wanted to take Finbar Maley decided he wanted to take.
Literally, it was a 1v23. Zach Merritt beat him by himself. He was playing midfield, full forward, full back, wing, everywhere.
He dominated. First of all, Finbar has one of the best mustaches I've ever seen.
It's impressive.
It is beautiful. But the fact that he gave up the opportunity when Cheese was running by himself to have a run on goal when Cheese, a more experienced player, probably a better kick than Finbar.
What?
And then he decides to take it and then forgets about the time clock.
I'll let him off, though. It's his first game. Bit of pressure.
It is, but that's why wouldn't you pass it off? To get that pressure off your back. Give it to someone who's a bit more experienced.
At the moment.
Yeah, I think in his head he had more time.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't be much.
It's up on the screen.
It probably wouldn't be much of a thing, though. Like in the VFL, you wouldn't be getting as closely watched for your time.
Yeah.
So up to AFL, where obviously it's on the screen of the umpires for once they're onto something. How about the free kick that North Melbourne got for kicking the ball away?
Oh, that was quite funny.
No, so that wasn't for that.
No, it was.
Yeah.
No, it was for Finbar Maley. It was a high tackle.
No, because it was going to be a baller and then
Constanti
kicked
booted
away.
it 20
No,
metres.
I can confirm it was that for that reason.
And then he
And
thought
then
an
I
Essendon
believe
player
the other
kicked it.
umpire, I'm going to say this now, he might say it's for the kick. I reckon he had in his head, he was calling it for Finbar Maley high. Because Finbar Maley was taken high. He was? You watched the footage?
Because they didn't call it till after the ball was kicked away.
Different umpire.
Different umpire.
Either way, it's an absolute
There
farce.
was about 3 umpires in that one spot, and they all called different calls.
Who cares? The umpires are terrible.
Yeah.
We'll
It
get
was
to
an
them
absolute
later.
joke.
Yeah.
We'll get to them later.
Yeah.
Anyway, somehow the Bombers hang on. I don't know how still, with the way we were just absolutely cooked at the end.
It's because North don't know how to win.
Yeah, that's the only
That's
reason.
true.
North just know, even their entries, those last 3 minutes, were just bombs up in the air. Essendon doing the smart thing, putting a couple of players behind the ball.
They did a smart thing.
It's a rare.
You did something smart.
It was not that smart because we just bombed it straight back to him. But anyway, a win is a win, and we'll
Can
take
someone
it.
please tell me how Harrison Jones is only going to miss a month of football after that injury?
Mm.
That was
It's lucky.
That was like
It's
Gordon
disgusting.
Hayward levels injury are.
It was disgusting.
I reckon it was hidden. The boot actually just fell off, and the boot was.
So what, when his foot's 90 degrees?
Yeah, it's actually just his foot's actually fine.
He did
The
his Zion
boots
Williams.
just
He did his Zion Williams, so he just went through the shoe.
yeah, his boots actually is just flipped around.
He was sucking on that green whistle for a while.
Oh, he
Well,
was.
it would hurt a lot.
It would.
Anyway, thank God
You know
he's
what?
alright.
How about you try to do what Harrison Jones did?
I don't want to.
No, but then you can see how much of the green
I was
whistle
going
you
to suck the
take.
green whistle.
Huh?
I'm sending out the capstone.
Anyway, move on. Friday night was even worse.
Oh, that was
Back
worse.
at
I'm
Marvel.
sort of glad I didn't have to watch this game.
Ross Lyon, after
Shots.
weeks of conceding 100 plus, went full, I'm going to say it, terrorism ball.
It was awful.
Back
Just-
to defense.
Back to holy crap.
Prime 2010 St Kilda.
The first half, maybe the worst half football I've ever seen in my
There
life.
was a combined 34 points in the first half.
Wow, head.
Fremantle did not kick a goal.
Fremantle got one goal, one at half time they're on.
I think I saw it was their 4th lowest score in franchise history.
Yeah, one of their lowest ever. It was
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when roster boss decides, I'm going to put 10 players behind the ball at all times.
It was
and
great.
Fremantle couldn't do anything about it.
It was great to see Longmuir come out after the game in the presser. We need to look at everything.
Really?
It's okay. He won't have the chance to because he has 4 weeks left
Unlucky.
Hey, they're back in Perth this week. I
But
think, so they'll win.
It was very.
against us.
Yeah, they'll beat you probably. Watch it.
If they win that, that's unbelievable. But Freo just do good things for 2 weeks, and then just throw it all out of the bin.
It's one.
It's
It's
weak.
It's at home.
Win at home, go travel, and just forget what football is.
Yeah. It's
They're,
They're the new Gold Coast of the AFL.
they've
no, Gold Coast is still Gold Coast.
Freo have won all their games at home, apart from one, and then they won a game at Adelaide and Gatherine against Richmond. Every other game's a loss.
Yeah.
They are a shocking team on the road.
They are. Them and Adelaide are both
Absolute frauds. Not a team that can compete for a prelim.
No.
No,
Definitely not.
competing for finals is
They might make a
pushing
final
it now for
spot,
them.
but
Well, they're still winning games at home.
they
so
are ninth, so they're not far.
they're
behind.
hiding a certain other team. They got smacked.
Yeah, Port.
Yes, Port.
Yeah, Port.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doggies.
It was a good week to actually be an Adelaide fan.
Oh,
'cause
they were loving it.
Adelaide beat a certain team, and then they watched their biggest rivals get
Actually,
pumped by Port Adelaide. By Western Bulldogs.
there's not really much in this run sheet about a certain team.
Oh, did you skip past it when you were writing your notes?
Oh, there's like one sentence.
Someone else had to jump in and write about him.
Anyway, Ballarat
Ball.
should not be existing.
Well, not when there's 3,000 people in there because half the stand's being built.
Yeah, there's literally construction works, and you can see the servos and all the businesses in the background.
Anyway,
This is like C-Tech kid in your park back in the day when I was getting redone.
oh
Worse.
god, that was the worst.
This kid in the park still held probably like 15,000 in the one stand.
Yeah,
Mars right now only holds 3.
it's horrendous. Anyway, doggies, fly contenders.
No, genuinely.
That team's looking scarier by the week. They just added Trelaw back.
Good ad. No Darcy still.
No, but they don't have to worry about
The
it because
forwards
their
are stepping
midfielders and their midfielders are all kicking 3 goals each.
Yeah, Bont with 3, Richards 2, English 3,
The team
Fraser.
English is having a revival of all.
Tim English. Buku's looking good.
Karmas with 2, Norton's better week by week. Still not good, but better.
It's generally looking
a scary
scary.
team.
It's scary.
Scary team.
Imagine they had 2 probably best forwards from last year playing with. Obviously, we know one person's missing for
Well, he won't play the whole year.
obvious
He's
reasons.
not playing for doggies again.
Yeah.
Hot take.
No, I'm pretty sure everyone knows that.
And
Sorry.
then Darcy's out till round 16 or 18, I think.
Late in the season, he
What
comes
we
back.
heard,
Yeah, he's mid to late season. He's going to be back.
Yeah, that's a big issue.
Well-
Remember the Collingwood Geelong game?
No, there's a game. man.
We got a
Is
game
there?
in the middle.
I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
You just didn't watch it.
Yeah,
I didn't. I was working. Apologies.
Anyway, yeah, Adelaide Carlton. From the start, this was a bloodbath.
demolition.
Real reality check for Carlton after their 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Fraud, fraud watch is just on now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say just yet. One game.
Did
since
you
it
get
kicked off.
smoked?
We did, but I look at it. We missed our. In my opinion, he's been the most important person all year in Silvani.
Yeah. Your attack, which has scored over 100 points multiple times recently, couldn't even score on Mark Keane,
Yeah,
and just Mark Keane
that was embarrassing.
Where was Harry?
disappearing.
Charlie kicked a couple of goals.
Did you go to Adelaide?
Sorry, I was at Amy Park. He was maybe there.
The only two people that stood up for Carlton all day were Cripps and Hewitt. They did their work from the
They
midfield.
just stand up every week.
It's the same thing. They took-
He was run away the best and fairest after round 8.
And Cripper's going to have sore shoulders again. He's not going to be playing ever again properly.
O'Brien beat Conning in the ruck as well, which is a big one.
Smacked.
Yeah.
Absolutely smacked.
I think
Conning had a poor game.
we expected Adelaide to win.
Yeah, Adelaide were the favourites.
Because Adelaide,
Not by 10 goals,
yes, they haven't been in the best form the last 2 or 3 weeks, but we saw what they were able to produce at the start of the season. They kick a lot of goals. Defensively, that was impressive.
Seeing it that you have 2 tall men versus
yes.
0 tall men.
Josh Worrell, Michael Laney down back.
I'm going to request if anyone wants to take this guy for free, Jesse Motlop. He's free to a good home. I
Hey,
don't want him anymore.
who did we
I don't want him
for
anymore.
ages
I don't
tell
want him
you
anymore.
is in the pressure point?
I don't want him anymore.
You're gonna finally no. Hell no.
Do you want him?
No. I'm right.
He's free to a good home.
It's so much funny seeing Only Blues post the whole thing of every single crime possible, and it's just Jesse Motlop's face next to it.
Oh, that place is something.
No, yeah.
That was crazy. Anyway, I've had enough to talk about shit games because we've had just shockers so far. Mm-hmm. Game of the year was on Saturday night.
Oh, wow,
It
yeah.
promised to be a great game as well, and it actually delivered.
It was a really great game to watch, guys.
Collingwood
It's a
Geelong.
big game for Jack Crisp. Well done to Jack Crisp, by the way, for 245 consecutive games.
It's a very impressive record.
To not get an injury, miss a game. It was talking on SEN about how he how he used to. There was weeks where he thought he wasn't a chance to get up, but to do that for 10 years of his career.
It's 11 years.
11 years this year.
So it's a phenomenal achievement.
Do
Do
you
you
know,
reckon
And to not be a star of a team either and do that, I think is even more
Yeah.
impressive.
do you reckon he gets to 250 and then just goes, all right, I'm done?
No, he's gonna be playing. He's 32. He's not.
He's just going to
He will just,
No, I'm
go
talking
as long as
about-
he can.
Oh,
play his next 5 games and have a week off.
I actually genuinely think he'll try to go for 300.
That'd be mental.
That's That's body
Great record, but this game,
cracker.
The
two genuine premiership threats.
I think a lot of people are saying this is the grand final preview.
We could see, yeah.
Yeah, there are 2 teams that can definitely should be playing playing the prelims.
If this is a grand final, this will be one of the greatest grand finals of all time.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
But
I can't get past 2018.
I think
Oh, it's pretty
2023 was better than that one.
2018 was pretty good.
2018 is the best grand final ever. Anyway,
Hey guys, can you guys be competitive so we at least can get your grand final? Oh wait. Anyway,
hey,
That's
mean.
uncalled for.
anyway,
I was shocked at how a 35-year-old Patrick Dangerfield can be so damaging.
He generally turned back the clock. Everyone else, once again, turned back the clock. Dangerfield.
Pendles was unbelievable.
Sidebottom was still doing his best.
Yeah. Even like a Maya check, he kicked 4.
My check was clunking everything.
I think Dangerfield was quiet till halftime, then he dominated.
The fourth quarter especially was absolutely...
13 in the fourth.
Yeah,
he was going
ridiculous.
through packs at 1,000,000 miles an hour and just bowling over Collingwood
He
players.
just decided, if I do a hammy, I'm doing a hammy. I'm just going to go for it, and it was ridiculous.
Play forward and have 29 touches and do what he did.
Well, he played centre clearance pretty much the whole second half.
Yeah.
And he was back to his
Well, I
best.
needed him too because they were down at half. I think 20 points at some point in the third quarter.
It was about 20 points.
You
and
just
then
couldn't put him away.
there was just a turning point in the game where everything went their way.
Yeah.
And the big elephant in the room is everything. Because
Okay, here we go.
hey, it was gonna be discussed anyway. Let's be real, it was gonna be discussed.
Yeah.
Geelong won the game, and they probably would have won no matter what.
Yep.
But I think we had our chance taken away from us when Lockie Schultz's goal didn't go through.
Well, yeah, that was questionable because there's no way he touched that.
And
There's a clear gap.
I want to also put Lordo on the fraud watch. Do you take what Mark Blitzarves, who wants you to believe that he touched the ball, face value, that he didn't touch it?
I just don't think Lloydie likes Collingwood very much.
No, he does not.
I want to give raps touchy someone from Geelong who I thought was really impressive because everyone's talked each week about who can tag Nick Dacos, what can do. I thought Oyson Mullen, in that last quarter especially, Nick only had 3 touches in that last quarter.
Yeah,
He was negated because obviously Nick had a really good 3 quarter. He had 25 in the third quarter. But for Geelong to stick at it, normally going to that fourth quarter, let's take him off. We're going through all the balls in the basket. And they decided to keep with it. And I think that was the game winner in the end. Because if you can stop Nick Dacos and let, say, Penderbury or Saibon, who are great footballers and they are showing promise, but I don't think they're as dangerous by
They're not
foot
Nick Dacos.
compared to Nick.
No, Oyster Mullen did a good job. I actually said a whole game. The touches, Nick
wasn't at his most damaging best as he can bear.
when he was off Oyster Mullen, he was elite. When Mullen was on him, he was hampered massively.
Yeah.
He's shown that you can tag Nick Dacos. Everyone's saying, can you tag him? He's
You definitely can tag him. I still think he still
You're never going to stop him.
I would,
You can negate him. You're never going to stop him from having
Yeah.
a good game, really.
and I think a lot of the time, when there were things that weren't effective for Nick, it actually wasn't his fault. It was the people around doing it. DeGoey had probably his worst game I've
I'm
seen.
talking about DeGoey in a bit.
He had a horrible game. Everyone else in the forward line did what they could. Bobby Hill, but he had a dislocated shoulder. The whole game though was just the whole thing
Quality
was great.
footy.
It was quality, and then the final 3 minutes.
Well, you thought when I think it was Jack Bowes kicked that goal, put Geelong 16 up.
Yeah,
You thought it's game over.
I watched about at least 20 people walk out of the stands,
Yeah.
just in my area alone.
Yeah.
And
You would've
then
thought- and then Myercheck just became
prime plugger.
prime plugger, clunking everything.
Couldn't drop it.
Sticky fingers.
Yeah,
and
the
then
Lockie Schultz incident, and then Bobby Hill,
the chase down.
the chase down.
I think it was a trip, but for the moment, it would have been really cool to see that
Yeah,
sort of
it was
talent
a
on
drip.
the ball.
I'm going to talk about it later because there's an issue I have with that.
I also have a different thing. Let me bring it in the pressure point that's related to the game, not related to that.
Yep.
I believe the ruling right now, I believe, is where it starts, and he started above the waist.
Yeah, he did. His hands
I just
slipped
think that they had the same call happen the next day.
with the
Paul
James
Bond.
Sicily
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
That's where I'm confused. Is where's the consistent?
No, there's
All
no
we're asking for almost
consistency.
be consistent, but
Yeah,
you called
and-
two. I think it was almost the exact same. They're 2 different calls.
I would also say we also had a few consistency issues. We had 2 deliberates in the game. Fair enough. They were both deliberate. Geelong had at least 3 opportunities where it was deliberate. There was one that was a massive one, final quarter, about 5 minutes left. Geelong kicked a goal after it, where I believe it was Blitzarves just boots it forward, goes out, no one's nearby, and they call it Nuffin after calling it multiple times for us.
Umpires, we beg, please put the whistle away.
It did ruin my experience in the final quarter, even though Jack Crisk had the chance to.
Well,
have
that
the
would have been perfect.
The storyline of all time.
But he did a McGovern.
Yeah. Well, once again, he used all of his clutch moments in the 2023 grand final when he kicked 2 after the siren goals.
I think the thing that at least all your boys got around him after the game.
Yeah,
and even Dangerfield got around him too.
I think both sides won that game.
Yeah. It's a
And
it's a
Craig
loss for the
McRae
Pies,
did, yeah.
but
Craig
they played bloody
McRae
well.
does often say that, but that whole game was just, it shows both sides. It probably should have been a draw.
that'd have been fitting.
Yeah. If it was a fair result, but it's not. That's not how it works.
Football's not fair.
Well, a game that wasn't enjoyable to watch and nobody really wanted to watch was Melbourne and West Coast.
I mean, Max Gorn
Max
versus,
Gawn
West
versus
Coast.
Coast.
There's nothing to say apart from how does a ruck get 35 disposals?
The greatest ruck of all time.
I think he's genuinely the GOAT of rucks.
Well, who would you say is the GOAT? If it isn't Gawn, who do you say it is?
Dean Cox.
Dean Cox is the only other one really.
Holly Farmer?
No, I still think Dean Cox would be up there.
Steins? Steins won a Brown, though. Steins would have to be
Yeah,
up
but
there.
Dean Cox also played in a generation where there was the most generational midfielders of all time and forwards.
Yeah.
Like, you're not winning a Brownlow in that era.
I think there's obviously no one in the last 10 years that's anywhere near gone.
I'd say Mark Pitney's up there.
Oh yeah, he's really good.
For VFL, yeah.
Also Andrew Phillips, he's really good. Gorn is amazing.
He has to be at least in the top three.
Where would Melbourne be without Gawn?
Bottom. Without a win.
They wouldn't have been near a flag at all.
Yeah, they wouldn't want a flag. Even in their great midfielders
Does
they
so
had.
much.
He's an absolute star.
That's good. But Sunday provided some good games for us. The derby in Sydney,
Oh, it wasn't a good game.
it wasn't a good game. It wasn't bad.
It was just
very
scrappy.
mid.
Just
It
scrappy
was-
mid.
Yeah, it was an uneventful game.
Sydney needed the win though.
They did.
They had their big gun stand up, Warner and
I tipped
Heaney.
them.
I have another thing to add to the pressure point to that. We'll come back to
in a
that.
sec.
Yeah.
But yeah, they won the derby. Was it Chad Warner who won the medal?
Chubb Warner got the medal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, Giants are like, I'm looking at what Giants
Slippery
same as
slope.
Freo. They do good things at sometimes. They do a lot of bad
I
things.
think right now their best players are not standing up.
Toby Green is disappearing again.
Even Hogan
Becoming a
yesterday
big factor.
kicked 1-3.
And he
Should
had
he kick three?
Yeah, how is the sub? I don't get it.
Cadman kicked two. Like, it's the players you don't expect to be actually standing up.
Toby Bedford was out concussed.
Wow.
He lost vision. That was a
Yeah.
hit.
That was
That
nasty.
was a big hit too.
Yeah, he's suspended for throwbacks.
Who was it again? It was
Lewis Melican.
Yes.
Oh, well,
Irrelevant.
after only being here back for 2 games. Good work, Malcolm.
Swans still have no one. So to be fair, to be they're 3-5 now with no one. It's not good, but you almost take it with the way their injury list has gone.
Oh, yeah.
Hawthorn versus Richmond
And, yeah,
happened.
really boring. I was there.
The only good entertainment was pre-game.
Yeah, pretty
I
much.
didn't see a lot. Hawthorn looked a bit more like Hawthorn in the second half.
But they did last week as well.
Yeah, it's against the Richmond
It's
side.
what you expected them to do against Richmond.
Yeah, they're expected to do it.
I don't
When
think
they're
they
best.
did anything spectacular, like you said, but they got the win. They got the 4 points.
You take a 65-point win.
You take a win over Richmond, then they're not easy to come past. I've learned that the hard way.
Actually, but it looks like they're pretty easy for most teams.
Gold
Just
Coast.
2 teams. Yeah, 2 teams can't.
Gold Coast and Carlton.
Oh, look at the 2 frauds.
And then finally, I thought it was a good game, at least for the way it was situated. What were people hyping up as the best Q clash to date? Bit of rain came around, but the Ashcrofts dominated. This was what you want to see from both of them. I think Brisbane solidified themselves as now the best team in the comp.
They are one of the top 3 teams in the
I
comp.
wouldn't say that it solidifies them as the best. I'm going to say this, hotter take, and this isn't hot takes, this is an actual hot take. This shows the Gold Coast started the year was such an easy run.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They played West Coast, North. They beat an out-of-form Sydney.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they've been into it. Melbourne.
Like, their run so far is so...
Their one good win is that win against Adelaide, which
Yep.
they probably shouldn't have won because of
Yep.
umpiring.
And so, looking at it now, this Brisbane side, yes, Gold Coast did come back towards them, but that's because Brisbane took their foot off the gas.
That game was over
beforehand.
3/4 time.
And do you look at the way that Brisbane, I think that Dunkley tag on Matt Rao was
Well,
the
Dunkley-
biggest influence in the game because we've seen what Rao can do throughout the year. He's been so damaging, and there was sort of a game that he loves a bit of wet footy. That's like
Yeah.
where he thrives the best.
Dunkley nullified Rao and then won lots of
He
ball
could
himself.
be, I think Dunkley could be one of the best taggers in the comp.
Yeah, he is because he gets his own footy.
Well, and
Yeah.
yeah, he's not. He says he's not a tagger.
He's
someone who
nullifies his
can
opponent.
tag,
He can tag,
but he's
gets
not
his own
known.
ball,
He's not known for being a tagger.
and he does such a good job at it.
Yeah, I feel like Brisbane haven't even played their best footy yet either,
No.
and they're
No.
7-1.
Far from it.
7-1.
And they
Top
did
of the ladder.
get,
They've had
they did
one
get
loss to
thumped
you
by
guys.
us.
Yeah, they had a shocker against Collingwood.
Yeah, but
Some of their
everyone should
wins,
lose.
some of their wins have been bad as well, but they're
Oh,
still
yeah.
7-1 top of the ladder. It's unreal.
They're doing what it needs to be done.
Yeah, it's good.
Should we have a look at before we move on? Should we have a look at the fixtures for next week and do some
Sure.
predictions? So Thursday night football, we've finally got a good game to start off with because it is over in Perth. So Freo are going to show up against Collingwood.
This game was a draw last year. I remember that.
Don't remind me.
That's right.
Don't remind
one of
me.
2 or 3
We
draws.
threw
we had.
away this game.
I remember watching it. It was hilarious.
Alex Pearce kicked it.
Freo, Collingwood. Who do you guys have?
It's actually pretty close. I think Freo could have a real chance at a bounce back just because it's in Perth. And this is what they do. They're really annoying to tip. I'll say Collingwood though because their form's too good to not go against them.
I think our defense will do wonders because Jeremy Howe actually back to marshal it.
And he's back, yeah.
I think Freo will bounce back. As much as I think Freo are so hard to beat Optus, and
You can
it's
do
going
it,
to show
though.
here. They can do it. I'm going to go Freo. We've got St Kilda vs Carlton Friday night football.
That's Spud's match at the
It
MCG.
is Spud's match.
I want to see Jack Higgins kick another game-winning goal.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was the
I don't-
best.
I'm gonna
He's in the funny part is since you said that and you said Jack Higgins is a nobody, he since then has probably put
Yeah,
one of
he's
the
near-
best
he's up-
seasons for a
up near the
small
top
forward
of
in
the
a long
Coleman.
time.
He's unbelievable.
I'm going to go, if Carlton have Silvani available, we will win. If we don't, we're going to lose. That's my prediction. It's all up to if Silvani plays.
I think
MCG. Hey, TD. This is the TDK Bowl.
Oh, it is. This is
Big-
who TDK's going to play for next
Big
year.
resume game for TDK when he goes to the
come.
Saints.
I reckon Windhager tag gets St Kilda to win.
I'm
Who's
gonna,
he tagging, though?
Hewitt.
Yeah, but then you leave Cripps available. I'd
reckon
I'd be
Jack's-
I'd be tagging Cripps over Hewitt.
No,
Cripps is more damaging than Hewitt.
I think this year no.
I'm gonna
This
go
year,
with
no.
a different sort of lockdown role. Big Cal Wilkie, big shutdown role on Kerno. Limits his influence.
Harry's
And,
going to kick 0 goal 6.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's Harry.
and I'll say, and then a really ugly game to watch. The Saints gonna get the win.
Yeah, that is terrorism ball.
That's a
finest.
shocking game because you're Carlton bonded into 8 Saints defenders.
We've got Melbourne versus Hawthorn at the G.
I'm gonna just go.
Pretty easy.
It's the Hawks.
Hawks.
I think we tie it
Ooh,
because I think the one thing that
Gawn
here
versus Meek. I like that already.
that's a good battle.
it's a good battle.
Go on and win, but
Fuck
Meek,
Josh.
Meek won't
I think
be an easy fight.
what the bigger thing will be is that this is one actual game where midfield battle matters, and Hawthorn won't win the midfield battle.
Not with that Wilder.
No.
Essendon versus Sydney.
At Marvel, a lot of injuries for the Bombers. They get a couple
Yeah.
back, but a few going out.
Do you know what? I'm gonna go Essendon.
I've got Sydney.
Oh, fuck it, I'll back us Bombers.
Now, I like this game here. Gold Coast Suns versus Western Bulldogs in Darwin.
The Suns are very good in Darwin.
They
They
love
haven't lost up
Darwin.
there in a few years.
But Doggies basically just played in Darwin because they played in Ballarat in front of nobody.
No, but
The weather's a bit different.
weather.
Oh, it wasn't too bad at the weekend in Ballarat.
What, -3?
Yeah, compared to 35 degrees
Yeah.
in Darwin.
Yeah, -3 in Ballarat feels like 50.
I've got Gold Coast winning this.
I'm going to go with the Suns in Darwin.
I'm going Doggies. I think this is where Suns get put in the frauds. You finally
Yeah.
see the fraudulent collapse of Dillon.
I'm more excited for this other game on Sunday night.
We have the showdown. Port
Showdown.
Adelaide versus
Adelaide by 5 billion points.
Yeah, Adelaide wins.
I think the Crows are going to smack them.
Could this be Ken Hinkley's? Ken Hinkley's
All right,
So
I don't need
this-
to worry about the Ken Hinkley thing. This game is going to be chopsticks all around.
Richmond, West Coast of the G. Tigers.
Oh.
I'm going with Tigers.
I've got West Coast.
No, it's MCJ Tigers.
I've got West
I
Coast.
think McGovern's out.
I'm going West Coast.
Jeremy
Macintosh,
McGovern's
West
out.
Coast have to win a game at some point.
Macintosh is going to get 30 touches.
Headband.
Another good game got here at GMHB and Geelong. Geelong versus Giants.
Giants win down there a lot.
They do.
They
like-
do, but the slide right now is too generational from the
Yeah.
Giants.
I
The
think
slide's got,
Geelong
the
are
slide's a
playing
bit
too
more
good
before it goes back up.
I think it's going to be, I think
Fall
it's a
off a
big
cliff
plateau.
territory.
Yeah.
Cats get it done.
What a game to finish us off here. We're going down to Hobart. North Melbourne versus Brisbane.
Brisbane
Brisbane are
gets-
winning by about 400 billion points.
Brisbane gets sent to the worst places ever to play football. Put them in prime time at a good stadium. They deserve it. They're the reigning premiers.
No.
They'll
That's
smack North. They'll just get over. They'll walk down there, win by 60, and be done with it.
easily. If North...
Stupid
but
fixture.
It would be funny though if North put in the fight.
North beat Brisbane.
Imagine that.
Oh, I need to go off. Fly north.
All right. Can you please
Anyway,
press the
Can you
hot
please
take?
hit the button?
I'm just
Sometime
talking.
today, please. It's a bit hot in here.
It's quiet.
It's a bit quiet in here.
It's hot in here.
It's very hot.
Hot takes. I heard a good one.
I heard one good one too.
I want to just get it up and running. It was during the Crows Blues game, so you've read it, haven't you? It's late in the game.
This guy should not be allowed to be on any TV.
It's late in the game, so and the Crows are up. And as we know, Mark Prosciutto was an Adelaide legend. And he loves the Crows.
Oh, Mark.
You know, during late in the game when the Mexican wave was going around, he goes, "Oh, I thought they banned the Mexican wave because there's too much beer being spilled. Like, that can't be good for Muslims, can it?"
Fuck. Fuck.
That's maybe the worst call I've ever seen in my life.
It's a little bit disjointed if you hear the audio, but that's what I made out today.
Oh.
And I was like, you can't.
That's not.
I think someone spoke over him to try and dump it, but you can still hear it. Didn't get past me.
God damn.
Rue.
That's terrible. I've got one here hot take. Chris got he had a meeting on, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday, an interview. So talking about is going to be any laid outs or what's to go with Tom Stewart here.
Because they do it all the time.
Chris Scott goes, I didn't know that we released medical injuries list each week.
It's been a thing for how long?
You've been a coach for over a decade now, and you don't know that you release the medical list each week, so your fans can know how far your player's injured. No wonder you don't.
God damn it.
You have to dump that.
All right. Well, let's dump that real quick.
You can't say.
I will add another thing from that game. It's not really a hot take. Howie's call of the final kick.
Oh yeah. Do you reckon he thought the camera was on the side angle so you could get?
I reckon, but also even then he still says it like 10 minutes after the ball's been
Because
hit
it
the
was
crowd.
the camera behind the goals, and it's so
Yeah.
clearly a point.
Yeah,
Not
but
even close.
it literally goes into the crowd and then there's another freeze 4 seconds and then it goes, missed it, and you're like, really, Howie? Really?
Can you have what you had in the sheet before, or are you not doing that?
No, I got rid of that because I don't want to get in trouble because that's not actual. It's not actual knowledge, so I don't want to get in trouble.
Oh,
It's
so
my
you were
job.
all gung ho about it before.
I was, but I don't want to lose my job, so I'm going to
Okay.
get rid of it. But
If
it's
you know
about
now.
a certain roaming man, and he had a bit of a sook on Thursday night.
Can we get roaming Brian in the pod? Can you just walk into my room?
He's a not being rude, but he's a bit of a prick.
He's a Collingwood legend, of course he is.
Anyone associated with Collingwood's an
He
arsehole.
had a bit of a sook on Thursday night. Let's just say he spat the dummy.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Anyway, can you
Move
please
on.
press?
Can you please hit another button?
Can you please hit the
Steven Skull, his favourite movie, Steven Skull. Isn't the Mox Pops meant to be about a straight bloke taking a piss out of his face?
Anywho, we're at the pressure point here.
My favourite.
You know the rules.
Not Bevo again.
What coaches? Let's say, is there any coaches we've added in this week to the pressure?
Well, immediately I added Ken back in because that's what happened when Paul lose. And they did lose by 90 points.
Longmuir's also firmly cemented himself.
Oh, yeah. That also went straight back in for
he's
that
in for
loss.
the next 4 weeks until his contract gets renewed.
That's the only two things we added.
I want to add some extra pressure, at least 10,000 pressure points, to Adam Kingsley. What is that? What was that? Is that copyright?
He's coming after you.
Is his coaches?
You should be
Is
scared.
it him or is it his
He's
players?
gonna be one of those 100. He's gonna be one of the 100 men against Gorilla, and he's coming after you afterwards.
No, he is the gorilla, like muscle wise. he could take the gorilla by himself.
The Gorilla's Zach Merritt every week playing for Essendon. Just one man by himself.
No, he's just fighting the gorilla by himself. He said sometimes the gorilla's in North Melbourne.
Is it more Kingsley or is it his players?
I think it's probably him being too much on keeping to the same style.
Not enough variation with how they play.
Yeah, because if Lockie, Ash, and Whitfield are able to get as much touches as they can, and they still can't get enough of a win, how? Because they both average like 29 touches.
Are we able to push out Dean Cox after that win?
I still think he's in there.
Still think he's in there?
They need to. If they beat the Bombers this week and do it well, they can go out. Again, we said this with Clarko last week. Another honourable loss, but that's not good enough for North anymore.
Yeah.
Need a win.
So then we go to the players. We've got two people who have kept their spot in Jesse Motlop and Toby Green.
Obvious reasons.
Jesse, yeah, and Toby still hasn't decided to show up after 3 weeks after the start of the season. I can see a couple of names here. I think you guys have added this.
I've
I'll
added
let
a
you
few.
guys go.
I've added Tom Lynch. He's meant to be the man in this Richmond forward line. Obviously, there's not a lot going on down there. Yesterday, he was awful.
Yep.
Barras smacked him, and his 3 chances he did get a goal, which 2 were very easy shots. Absolutely blew him.
Yeah, I don't think he's been good all year.
When
I wouldn't say
when
he's
you're
had a
the
good game.
when you're the
I
only,
think he was really good in the Carlton
No,
Richmond
he
game.
wasn't.
He was really good at knocking out people.
That was
Yes.
all he was good for.
yeah. When you're the only guy up forward, when you've got all these other young forwards like there's a Jonty Fall up there. There's
I'm playing for him.
not you. I've got I think Samson Ryan plays every now and again. I don't
No.
actually-
Get Luke Trainer.
Luke Trainer's a defender.
He's a great player.
Yeah.
I just want to put that out there.
I said at the
Good
start of the year.
Good Supercoach point getter.
Oh my god, Supercoach mentioned.
So,
Yeah.
so
Most of Richmond's goals coming from their small forwards like Campbell, Mansell. Lynch is doing what he did back
He's a
in
has-been.
the Premiership years when he used to kick the ball into the post and 5 minutes out.
really?
I've also added one of Collingwood's finest, Barley Man, Jordan De Goey.
Do you want me to talk about him?
Yeah, you can talk about him. You can rant.
So DeGoey's forgotten how to use his hands. I don't think I've seen him this bad in a while. Even when after the Barley stuff, he was still able to play and end up putting one of his best seasons afterwards. Injuries, I think he might retire in 2 years.
He's like 29.
He's going to do a day in Swan.
He's going to retire early because his body's not holding up.
He's cooked.
He's cooked. He's having to play.
He's played that style his whole career though. That big body.
Yeah, but he used to be able to do at least midfield minutes for at least 50%. He can't even do probably more than 5 actual attendances now.
Yeah.
And when he does get in there, it's just so wasteful. He doesn't offer much up forward either.
Says
so
a bit when Steele's still pushing him out of the midfield with how much older Steele is.
yeah,
I think you only have him in the team because of what you know he can do.
he can do, but we have Ned Long for that now.
Looking more and more like Jake Stringer.
I would say so. Well, that's why I said we already have DeGoey. We don't need Jake Stringer too.
That would have been so funny.
Do you know who I reckon might take his place? Charlie West. You don't,
Is that one of your young players?
he's had a very good start of the season in the VFL.
Okay.
Watch out, he's playing this weekend, I believe. So we'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, no, massive pressure point.
Yeah, has to go in there. I've also added someone else from that game in there. The Geelong side, Tyson Stengel.
He was awful.
All-Australian small forward a few years ago. Has kicked a lot of goals over the last few years. Averaging less than a goal a game at the moment. Not impactful as well. He's not putting any pressure on. He's got a lot of other small forwards doing his job for
His
him.
kicking in 50 against us was pretty bad.
Yep. You got guys like Ollie Henry up there doing the bulk of the work as a small forward. So, can you get off your phone?
Sorry.
Just for what he has been in the last couple of years to come to his level right now, I'm putting Stengel in there. No.
Stengel,
Do you have anyone to add?
No, I'm happy with the list.
you sure?
I haven't watched enough footy on the weekend. I was quite busy.
No, you did watch it. You watched it in the normal way you watch it, which is look at the AFL fantasy points.
Well, I try and watch the highlights. I can't watch every game. I have to work.
I don't watch every game, but I at least keep up with what's going on.
Just don't listen to SEN with them singing every week and you'll find more knowledge.
It's funny. I like.
Do you have anyone to add, Jonty?
Nah, I think that's enough. Maybe umpires.
MRO.
Well, I did put the
MRO.
MRO times a billion in there.
Some
I
of the
feel like
decisions.
we've- I think the
MRO.
I
umpires
feel
are
like
the
we missed
pressure
it
point.
last week.
Umpires have to be in the pressure point.
They're ruining games.
Inconsistency, ruining
Yeah.
games,
I
sooking
feel
a
like
line.
I feel like when you're at a game and you see a decision, you have no idea what it is half the time.
Yeah,
You're trying to
there was one that was
you hear a
holding.
whistle and you
You're
just
trying to
go.
guess.
There was
Yeah,
actually
no
there's a good one for the Collingwood Geelong game. There's one that was a holding when it was called for a player that was out of the contest for like a good half a bit. That was my big concern.
I just don't like how they're not giving Carlton more free kicks than they already are. We're paying them
Rigged.
so much money.
Yeah,
You still can't win.
I'm at games and you try and like the game I was at. I was just trying to figure out what half the free kicks were when they were happening half the time.
It's just ridiculous.
Crazy.
Let's move on before we start getting a rant.
All rise for the Cripps
I feel this
Dacos
is way
medal.
worse.
On hand.
And move on.
Yeah, we're
Cripps
here.
Dacos medal. We're here. Another week of votes. I'll start us off with my boys, the Bombers, with their phenomenal win over North. We're giving 1 vote to Archie Perkins for his 3 goals in the first half. 2 votes, Tristan Sherry, and 3 votes to the Superman himself, Zach Merritt.
Now, it's an absolute terrorism ball that was the front of that game. 1 vote to Cal Wilkie for locking down Tracy, who...
Impressive.
Also, quick point. Tracy is the highest set shot rating in AFL 26. Agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Why are we talking about AFL 26?
'Cause it's coming out this weekend.
I disagree because
No, we're playing a lot of it over the weekends.
You are 12.
And
I disagree because it should be Nick Larkey.
yeah,
Harry.
No.
I think he should be in the negative.
Charlie Kono was in the top 5. And that annoyed me because he's not an accurate kick.
No, he's not.
2 votes, Jack McRae, for his continuation of why Doggy shouldn't have got rid of him, but then Doggies do win by 90. And then Cooper Sharman for making the only interesting thing about the St Kilda game. That guy.
We head up the road to Ballarat for the Dogs vs Port game. 1 vote to Jesus, he's back, Marcus Bontempelli. 2 votes to Ed Richards, and 3 votes to a friend of the podcast, favourite player from the team, Tim English.
Ding.
Tim English.
Cross the border to SA, Adelaide Carlton, absolute bloodbath. 1 vote to Max Michaelani, 2 votes Isaac Rankin, 3 votes leading the way from the front, Jordan Dawson.
Now, it's the only good game in the first 2 days. Collingwood versus Geelong. 1 vote to the oldest man in the AFL, Scott Pendlebury, just turning back the clock. Shut up. 2 votes to Bailey Smith for slow stat padding, but still had his biggest impact.
And then beefing with the Dogs after the game.
That was really good.
Funny.
And then 3 votes to, once again, another person turning back the clock, and we were talking about it beforehand, Patrick Dangerfield. For
Average age of those votes is like 45.
Literally.
So old.
We're moving over to the West. Best game of the round.
No.
Melbourne versus West Coast. 1 vote to Cade Chandler. 2 votes to Christian Petrarca. And there was only 1 man getting 3 votes. His name is Maxwell Gawn.
Legend.
Maxwell.
No, Max Gawn.
The Sydney Derby, the Battle of the Bridge, even though that's not like what they like to call it. 1 vote, James Jordan. 2 votes to Chad Warner. And 3 votes in a losing side. Fair effort, Finn Callahan.
2 to wash over, that was Hawthorn versus Richmond. 1 vote to CJ. I'm not going to say his name. Just in case. 2 votes to Josh Battle and 3 votes to Massimo D'Ambrosio.
The final game of the round, the Q Clash, we gave 1 vote to the tagger Josh Dunkley, 2 votes to Levi Ashcroft, and 3 votes to Will Ashcroft. Now we have a look at the tally after round 8. We have a 4-way tie in 8th place with 4 players on 8 votes, apologies. We've got Steel Side Bottom, Toby Green, Sam Darcy, and Chucky Nuts himself, Lockie Neal. We have 2 players tied on 6 with Max Gawn and Hugh McCluggage on 9. 2 players tied in 4th with Nick Dacos and Jordan Dawson both on 10 votes. 2-way tie for 2nd with Bailey Smith on 11 and Andrew Brayshaw also on 11. But the guy at the front on 13 votes, 2 ahead of the next best person, Essendon's saviour, Zach Merritt.
In 1 less game than everyone else, by the way.
Yeah, because he has to literally carry your shitty
I don't
You don't
care.
have any other good players to do anything.
I don't care. He's the best.
The season is finally ending in the A-League.
We got there.
God.
This has been one of the weirdest seasons of all time. There's been so much weird. The toilet seat is almost home to a team. The greatest trophy in all of football, the toilet seat. Now, Auckland and Melbourne City both took out 1 and 2. Melbourne City looking great form right in the end of the season.
They're flying. They played Sydney. I think it was 5-1 in the end, from memory, being the game. It was funny because I watched Douglas Costa have a sook at the end of the game. That guy has the biggest quads I've ever seen too.
Oh, he's got massive quads.
They are so big. I saw them in
Quadzilla.
person and they're like the size of my waist.
That's pretty big.
Okay, mate.
Hot take. It's like Max Gawn. He's pretty tall.
Max Gawn is tall.
Anyway,
Big castle.
so now we have the basically qualifying finals.
Yes.
Western United play Adelaide United in TUN.
I can't wait to work on this.
Oh my god, it's such.
What's the crowd going to be? 2,000?
No, they're going to be at full capacity.
What's
They're
that,
going to
4,000?
extend it from what I'm hearing. To like 5,000, 6,000.
Oh, that's so good.
This is basically just like the footy in Ballarat.
We are dreading this work on this because it's going to be a pain in the ass.
Oh really? It's almost like there's no
Me and my mates
facilities.
might go to the pokies afterwards in Tarney after they win.
Pokies?
All right, hold on, guys. We have to pause the podcast real quick. And then Western Sydney hosts Melbourne Victory in Parramatta after we completely choked any chance of opening.
Correct. Oh, no,
Like-
yeah. You choked it last week, but you couldn't win it on Sunday.
We were just awful. So Western Sydney probably beat us, and that'll be annoying. Anyway, boys, who do we think is going to win the A-League? The toilet seat, the coveted toilet seat.
Well, I thought it was going to be a wrap-up before this weekend. It's going to be Auckland. But I've seen Auckland's performance against Western United. Western United won 4-2. I'm a bit... I don't know what could happen. I feel like it could be a bit of everything.
Just remember that Auckland had nothing to play for. They're already crowned champions.
That is true.
And also...
Western United had everything to play for.
Yeah. And also, teams have to go... The grand final is in Auckland.
Well,
Yeah.
Can't wait to fly to Auckland.
Sick.
Good context.
Sick.
mate.
No,
Good context.
I'm going to predict it's going to be a Melbourne City will win the A-League finals. I think the football they're playing at the moment is probably the most entertaining out of all the teams the last 5 weeks. They've looked good. They're as a team. They're scoring goals. They're not conceding too much. I like what they're producing here. As much as I hate to say it, I like what they're producing.
Jim, do you want to have a guess?
No, you
Just
can,
pick
no,
one.
you can
pick
go.
one of 6 teams.
No, pick one. Pick one.
Pick one of 6 teams.
Western United are going to win the A-League.
Come on!
Why are you getting
Because
excited?
then I'm going to go kick on to Tarnate at the end of the season.
God. You know what's going to be played in Tarnee?
They're going to come in. They're going to come in there. They're going to fly in from Tarnee to Auckland. Don't know how that's possible, but they're going to launch their way through, and they're going to win 1-0 in Auckland and
Okay.
take home the A-League.
I'm going to say the boring answer because it's going to
You're
be...
going to say Auckland, aren't you?
Yeah,
Well, it's-
because I'm going to say this is the most rigged league of all time. The team that's come in... they've
First
had-
season with all the signings.
yeah, everyone is so good they brought in. Their team is so stacked. Go out and win it. And then next year they'll have no one of them because they all can't re-sign with the new rules.
Yep.
So it's great. It's great fun. Auckland will win it because it's rigged.
I
Now,
love this league.
West United have had a big week.
Very big.
Very big week.
It's only going to get bigger because they're going to win it.
Midway through last week, after Aloisi said some funny things in the media too,
What funny things.
they got banned for free registration windows for being financially incapable of paying anything.
Yep. Correct.
Then
The amount of debt in that.
2 days later, get bought out.
Yeah, very
By-
good business.
Yep. And so now they're fine.
Yep.
Such
Getting away with it somehow.
stupid way of dealing with business.
Oh,
They should be still banned for free windows.
I love Western United. They're the funniest
is
club.
the-
I
it's
think
such
they're the
bad
funny,
business.
They're the funniest club in the A-League by a long shot.
As I said, when I had a mate who worked in the West United's main part. He said the owner was just there to throw money at the.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't wait if the stadium be built in 2092.
No, it's not gonna be built.
It's going to be cancelled.
West United's relocating before they get built.
Where are they going to?
Great.
Gold Coast.
Gold Coast. No. We saw
Great.
what happened last time Gold Coast had an A-League team. How'd that go?
Well, this one isn't going to build a Titanic. And then forget about that as well.
Great things happen in the west of Melbourne. We all know that.
No. Not many good things happen in Western Melbourne.
Why? Do you live there?
I've been there. That's enough.
Relocating to Werribee.
No.
No.
We're basically already there. It's like 10 minutes down the road.
We've seen some crazy things happen, obviously, in the world of soccer. None is more crazier than Harry Kane has finally won a trophy.
It's almost like he went to Bayern Munich, the most winning team of all time.
Yeah, but they choked it last year.
Yeah, because Leipzig, everyone decided that I'm going to be good this year. And then Leverkusen went, oh, I'm going to be really, really good this year.
Well, it's looking interesting. He won his trophy. They were supposed to beat. Should have won it when they played Leipzig. They choked that. They got a trophy. Harry Kane's now posted 8 TikToks in the space of 6 hours.
Let him live.
Posting that he's won.
He had
I'd
to,
be pretty happy. How old is he? 30.
32.
he was the team that finished second to Leicester. All right, let him live.
Yeah. Fair enough.
He's forever been cursed by Tottenham.
No, I think it would be so funny now if Tottenham win the Europa League. Because then they would want to say he won a trophy at the same time it took Harry Kane. Oh, please, Tottenham beat Manchester United in the final.
I hope they choke the bottom of England.
funnies.
I hope they choke their lead to bottom of
Pedro
England.
Porro puts a top bins to win it in the penalty shootout.
Just not happening. Just not happening.
Stupid fucking goal.
Anthony gets called back on loan to come play the Europa League final.
Well, no,
Isn't
so
he in
he's
the
playing
Conference
Conference League final. Do you know if they win the Conference League?
Yeah, and then you guys win the Europa League.
Anthony wins
trophies.
2.
Don't make me get out of this seat. Come on in. You won't get in the water. You don't want to get his hair wet. Pretty boy.
Hold that thought. I'm gonna call you back.
Oh, Lord.
Bouncing balls, shooting the net, score.
No, you didn't do that at all properly.
NBA, we're here. Jesus has prevailed. That wasn't what I was trying to say. What's the word? I don't know. Dyson Daniels has won most
What
improved
was
player.
that?
You need to learn how to do a podcast again.
Dyson Daniels has thankfully taken out most improved player. He
Yeah, well
won
done.
by a comfortable margin in the end.
Well, after not winning DPOI, he had to win that award.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's the most rigged thing of all time.
Yeah.
I think he won by 120 votes in the end from second. So he
Would you
won
look at that?
comfortably.
Another player leaves New Orleans and gets infinitely better when he's actually played.
Don't remind me.
Did you see the interview he did with Inside?
And his dad's in the
And his
background.
dad's in the background at the
Oh.
end just celebrating.
His dad though.
Love you, Shaq.
So bad. He owns a gym.
Oh,
Anyway, yeah. Well deserved.
yeah.
They're very well deserved.
Very well
Just
deserved.
the numbers he put up this year compared to last year were enormously better.
It's great to see that he actually did win it, because if he didn't, I would be throwing hands with everyone.
Well, there's no way Cade should have won it because he went from.
Cade shouldn't have won it.
He went from
Cade
being
Cade came third in the end. It was.
I can't remember who came second. I didn't look enough on
It
it.
wasn't Zubac. It was someone.
no, it was
It might have been Zubac.
No,
Might have been
Zubac.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zubac
Zubac
in
had,
second.
Zubac had a good year as well.
Now, guys, the oldest man in the NBA is stepping down as head coach of the Spurs. Greg
Coach
Popovich.
Pop,
He's stepping down as head coach finally after so many years.
lots of health concerns recently as well.
Yeah, so the Spurs be a new generation now. It's okay though, because Popovich will still be there as basically the head of operations.
So he's the coach's boss.
Yep. he was both roles. Now he's just one.
Yeah, nice.
Question for you guys: is Greg Popovich the greatest coach in NBA history?
Yes.
You saying that when you have Darvin Ham in our current generation?
No, but
Leave
comparing to
Darvin
older
Ham alone.
generations. Like,
Yes.
is he better than Jackson? Is he better than? Who else?
I'm not sure.
Who was the Celtics coach back in the
Red
years?
Auerbach.
Yeah,
His ability to transcend different play
he's
style
lasted
generations.
longer than any of them have.
Yeah, he's been coach there for years.
My only thing against him would be that there's no real discernible, like his style is just not really discernible compared to anyone else. Like you have the triangle from Jackson. You have like pace and space from when D'Antoni went to Phoenix the first time. Like there's these things you can't discern. Popovich is just defense.
Yeah,
But it wasn't like
but
defense
won
is already around.
championships.
Yeah, but I'm saying like that's the only thing that would have against him.
He also did have probably the best power forward of all time.
Yeah,
And
but they made the playoffs for how many years in a row? Like a phenomenal
Yeah,
number
it
of
was
years in a
like
row.
15 years in a row, something like that. From like 98 to 2017,
Up to like
2018.
late 2010s, they were making
Yeah.
playoffs still.
But Popovich had basically for his whole reign a big man that was good, because he had
He started with David Robinson.
Dan Robinson, then Tim Duncan, and then there was a 3-year gap, and then
And
Wemby.
Vicky, yeah.
like generationally great tall men.
It is sad to see him go, but we've got through also the first round of NBA Finals. Your prediction's already fallen through. The
Oh, yeah,
Lakers
it's
are
awful.
out.
It's
Yeah,
awful.
we're cooked. We're
I'm the
done.
only one still alive in this thing. But what I'm excited for, we have OKC versus Denver, and from what I'm hearing, halfway through the series, they will announce the MVP.
I hope they
This could
announce
be
it when the
interesting.
series is still close, and when I think the inevitable happens, and they give it to SGA. Jokic
Jokic
got
deserved.
some absolute fuel.
Jokic scores using Shea as a basketball.
So what we've already seen one result from the second round. Pacers beat the Cavs. Golden State got past Houston today. So we've got Golden State versus the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a great matchup in itself.
Yep.
We have, and then it's OKC versus Nuggets. We have Boston versus New York. Great
Just
already.
fans
And then
hate each other.
Pacers versus Cleveland. So we've got some great things here. But I thought what we'll look at here is one thing each team have to do. They got past the first round to go all the way. I'm happy to share around with you guys if you guys believe. But I'll start us off with, I think New York. I'm going to start us off with New York here.
Yeah.
And the one way New York can win the chip this year is off Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
I look at it. We've seen what Brunson's been able to do. He's dominated.
Oh, he's insane.
I think even the role players around him, the Harts, the Mikal Bridges, have all performed. But you can see when Cat performs to when Cat doesn't, there's a major lacking gap. That's been a massive issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a series where he can take over as well.
I don't know. I reckon Porzingis and him are a good matchup.
Yeah.
So both
They
stretch. They both stretch 4-5s.
Yeah.
My only concern with Cat is he's generationally has a big drop off from his regular season to his playoffs. He's done it for even last year late in the playoffs.
Well, you've seen they're using Mitchell Robinson more. That should be the big thing because Mitchell Robinson doesn't get regular season game time.
He's a bit more of he's a good defender. He's what they need.
He crushes
Cat's
the
a
boards.
great offensive player, but defensively, but what they need is they need Cat to be an offensive threat because then that puts so much more pressure on Boston from here.
Yeah.
We'll go to Boston now as well. My one thing for Boston to go away is don't get ahead of yourself. I think they know they can do it. They won it last year. They're probably confident going in. Look, not saying it's an easy run, but they should be winning against New York.
Well, they're a super team. They should be winning.
Don't get ahead of yourself because as soon as they get ahead of yourself, we've seen it happen before. They start to crumble under what they have.
Well, next year they can't physically just keep this team together. The contracts are too much.
Yeah, this is their last run at it.
So
they're gonna have to because they know their main way of winning is a lot of shooting, a lot of outside shots. They love the throw ball.
They shoot the most threes in the league by a country mile.
If that gets shut down, because the Knicks have a good defense with the likes of OG Anunoby, Josh Hart on the perimeter, if they can hide Brunson away and stop the throw ball, then they'll go a long way to the Knicks winning.
Yep.
So the Celtics, if they do get shut down, find another way to score.
pretty much. Well, the big thing actually from New York would be get Bridges going again. Because Bridges has been probably the most consistent player in the playoffs.
That game 5, he dropped 25 points.
Doesn't miss a game. He's so consistent.
He got pretty much the winning tip in before Brunson hit that game winner. He can do so much for them, and you see how influential he is.
He's playoff ready as well. He's played a lot of playoffs at Phoenix as well.
And also he's improved his defense, and with Tatum being probably the man on him, that is going to be a massive matchup.
I'm excited for that series. It's probably my favourite in the second round.
Yes. We'll go on to the Cleveland Cavaliers in a moment. The one thing they need to do is get Garland back ASAP.
You noticed that today. He wasn't playing.
And notice how big of an influence he was. And find some scoring not from Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell, I believe, scored
33 today.
33 points, and Evan Mobley was the only one close to getting some more points. But their bench barely scored at all. You can see how...
Ty Jerome had 21. But that's not going to happen if Garland's back.
No. You can see how big they miss Garland. And
is he out for much longer, or is he day-to-day?
I think it's day-to-day. But they need him to be, especially with game 2. If they lose 2 games at home, you can almost wipe the series away.
Yeah, very tough to come back.
Especially with how the Pacers are playing. Because the Pacers
are playing unbelievable basketball.
They generally are a smoky now to win it.
Yeah. And we'll talk about them now. I've got them. My one thing I've got for them is don't change the formula of sharing the scoring load. They had, I believe, all of their starting 5 score mid to double digits.
The lowest was 13.
Yeah.
That's a good.
It wasn't like Tyrese went off. Tyrese scored 24 or something.
22, but had 13 assists.
Yeah. They're sharing the scoring load. They're passing around. And that's when they look so damaging. Like, it's so hard to defend 5 scorers on the court. It's not impossible, but it's so much harder.
I think the big man matchup in this series is you got Mobley and Allen up against Siakam and Turner.
I want to quickly
be a big battle.
Turner as well. Turner is underrated. Is probably one of the most underrated centers in the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, he's a great center.
Because he's always constantly getting up in the trade rumors for Indiana.
He always beats him.
And he always beats him. He celebrates every single one. But his defense is so much, and he also can stretch the floor when you need him to.
Yeah.
And in a series where you're going to have Mobley locking down the key, having a stretch 4 and 5 with Siakam and Turner.
Bring Jared Allen out onto the...
Where he sucks. He sucks down perimeter.
Yeah.
Only good down low.
So having that, Pacers generally could have a great chance.
Yeah, they're looking really good. Let's go over to the West here now. We'll start with the OKC Nuggets game. I've got for OKC, the one thing they need to do, don't stop dominating. Keep the gas on the pedal.
I don't think that's exactly a thing you can do, though. Because OKC had the easiest series of anyone.
Yes, but take that momentum from dominating and continue it on. It's not going to be an easy.
Look, this series is in the Thunder's hands. They've had a week-long break. Nuggets are set to go to Game 7.
If they get past them, they are... I'm not saying it's going to be an easy run, but they're going to be playing the Timberwolves, the Warriors. That's an easy run to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, they could have had a lot of harder times.
I think it's whoever wins out of the OKC Nuggets is going to the Finals.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless Ant does something ridiculous.
Or Curry just starts shooting 43 points per game.
Yeah, but no.
Which he won't.
Yeah, he won't.
No. Yeah, I think the Thunder, it's in their hands. It's all on them from here. Last year they fell out in the second round.
Yeah.
against the Mavs.
Well, look at them also. They're using their bench players more now when they need to,
You
because
got Aaron Wiggins. You got
Aaron Wiggins is having a generational playoff series last series. J Dub continues being one of the best second pieces in the team.
Yeah.
Chet Holmgren still hasn't developed in that second piece yet because J Dub's just doing so well.
check and just chill.
He can just do whatever he wants. Hartenstein versus Jokic can be a good matchup.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
That's they got to do the whole defense. You're just going to figure out how to. You're never going to stop Jokic. You got to just limit what he can do on the court.
And limit Aaron Gordon.
We'll go to the Nuggets now. My one thing I've got for them is give Jokic some help. We saw in the games where they were able to win, they actually had supporting pieces around him to actually perform. We saw, I think it was a 43 piece from Jamal Murray one game. I think Russell Westbrook's had some decent scoring performance, especially in that last game. I think he had a good, what did he score in the end of that last game?
16 off the bench.
Yeah, he's doing his thing.
But you can see when we get some actual scorers around Jokic, they've looked a lot better than what they have.
Yeah, well, even Aaron Gordon's had a great playoffs.
Yeah, he always is just
He
consistent.
shows up in the playoffs.
He's a different beast in the playoffs, which isn't a beast. He's Aaron Gordon. But like
Rob Dunk contest champion.
Yes, facts.
he's not Blake Griffin. He can actually shoot. So
Yes.
it's really down to if the Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren defense of Jokic, because it'll be a 2v1. It won't be.
No, you gotta.
Yeah, Gordon will be marked by probably Lou Dort.
The
Porter Jr.
NFL
will be left open, and
Yeah.
so, and also I reckon this will be a massive series where you'll see Wiggins, you'll see Caruso, you'll see Lou Dort playing more, because they'll be so worried about where Jokic is going to pass it more than what Jokic is actually going to do with it.
Yeah.
Because the Nuggets are finding their open men now.
Yeah. Now over to the Timberwolves Warriors game. The Timberwolves, I did have something here, but I'm going to change it here. Have your bigs dominate, because right now, especially against the Golden State Warriors team who play a lot of small ball, don't have any big tall players, get them firing. So when it comes to the Western Conference Final, if they get through that, they're kicking. You saw in that game 5 against the Lakers, Rudy Gobert had like 20 and 26.
He's not doing that again.
He
That is
not against the Warriors.
Against
he
the
could.
Warriors, he will. He'll do that every
Draymond will punch him in the face before it happens.
I reckon Julius Randle punches Draymond in the face before that happens.
There's how long till Draymond gets in a fight in this series? Because he's got into a fight in every single game in the
I love
Rocket series.
Draymond. He's my little pookie bear.
I have to,
But even just having the role players help Anthony Edwards, we saw how dominant Ant was in the Lakers.
he's
He
incredible.
won them that.
He's incredible.
that series.
He is the Timberwolves.
Yeah,
He's incredible.
he didn't have a great regular season, like compared to the season gone past, or at least last season. But he's shown up. He's the future of the NBA, in my opinion.
No, I agree with that. He's an absolute star.
He's a gun.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. The Warriors just said a small lineup. I think Draymond running center a lot of the time.
They'll have Draymond probably at the 4, and they'll have, I think it's Moody at the
Moses
5.
Moody plays.
Moses Moody is getting absolutely bummed then.
I don't know why we've had so much time to have Sam, but never have.
I can see you'd almost use Draymond on Julius Randle.
Yeah.
Randle a lot of the time is the man at the top of the floor.
Gobert should be dominated, in my opinion.
He should.
He does not dominate.
He is a fraud. He's been beaten in a lot of times when he should have dominated in the past.
Yeah.
Even back in when he was at Utah.
Oh, definitely went Utah. But this is basically Utah, but better. Look at the squad right now. It's-
Ants are better, Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, still have Conley, and he's consistently still at the same level at all times. Julius Randle is the other kid, and then Jaden McDaniels to defend anyone.
Yeah. It's a good lineup.
Yeah. And finally, we go to Golden State Warriors, who just won Game 7 today. My one thing for them to go all the way, can Curry's entourage show up when he doesn't?
Well,
We
they
can see
did today because
Yes.
Curry wasn't his best
He
today.
had a big second half. I think he had 33 or 35.
But his
in the
first
end.
half was terrible.
Curry was only 22.
But
22?
I reckon he would have had.
But you had
10%
Buddy Hield
more.
had 33.
Yeah,
Buddy
Jimmy
Hield
Butler
showed
had
up.
about 26 or something like that.
20. But he had seven assists, 8 rebounds for Jimmy. That's good.
But as a Golden State fan, there's been so many games, especially in the Houston series, where Buddy Hield hasn't shown up. Kuminga barely shown
He doesn't
up
play.
much. Pajemski, I can't remember. I always forget how to spell his last name.
Pajemski.
He's playing 40 minutes and only getting 9 points. That's not.
That's not what you need, especially when Steph's aging is not being as dominant as he has been. If he's not performing, we need someone to step up.
Draymond's going to have to be big in this series again, just as an enforcer. As much
Well-
as he shits me up the wall.
You look at your big four of Butler, because I'm gonna put Hield in there. but Hill disappears every game,
Yes,
every
that's
second
my
game.
issue,
So
yeah. So inconsistent.
Butler, Hill, Green, Curry. The rest, Podemski can be good when like given a chance, but he's not often getting the ball. He's not the ball handler.
No.
Moses Moody can play well, just not against good actual centers.
Kevin Looney's like our only centre.
And he's
Moses.
he's awful too.
Yeah.
Kaminga's awful. Quinton Post awful. Jackson Davis is playing minutes somehow in the playoffs. Like
I'm still trying to figure that out.
your team isn't like well, your team, yeah, it is your team.
My team, yeah.
Golden State never really had a center though.
We haven't had a centre since Bogut, and even then, Bogut was a.
You had Zaza tripping people up.
In a series, yeah, in a series,
Zaza reminds me of Pitney. That's what he reminds me of.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
he was serviceable though.
He won us a ring.
Zaza did not win you a ring. The other 4 All-Stars, I think, he might have done it.
No, he stepped on Kawhi's ankle.
Cheat.
But in general though, like in a game where you have to take on both Randall and Gobert,
It's going to be,
even though they both can be average at times, average against your defense and tools right now.
Draymond is going to be the key piece of
Yeah,
the series.
I think Draymond's actually the key of this series.
Draymond,
As much as he
in
annoys
2025, Draymond is the key piece in the series.
he's just a newer version of Dennis Rodman. That's all he is.
Yeah,
No,
he
can
literally
score. Draymond can score.
But out of the
Barely, but
8
he
teams we've
can.
got here, obviously you're 2 teams around. I'm still going by New York. Who have you guys got winning at least? From the teams you can pick from here.
I would say if the Cavs get Garland back, I would say they win in 6. I think they're a very overpowering team when they get going. So I'll say they can beat Indiana. I think Boston beat New York. Great series, but I think Cat's too much of a playoff fraud for me to say otherwise. In the West, I'll say the Thunder get it done. Just too much there for Jokic to be able to be by himself. And I'll go just to the overpowering dominance of the bigs and the Timberwolves. I'll say the Timberwolves get through.
I'll go quickly through. Pacers win this series, I think. I just think Cavs are going to be on the back foot. I don't like their playoffs performance. I've still got New York going through. I said from the start, I love what New York are doing. If Cat can show up, they're going to dominate. I'll go with you, OKC, getting past the Nuggets. I think Jokic is going to average like 30, 12, and 14, and they'll still lose in 6.
Poor man.
And I'm going to go Golden State. I think experience is going to come into factor here against the Timberwolves.
I think Timberwolves got the experience last year. They were in the playoffs last
They
year.
made the conference finals.
Yeah, they have the experience now.
Yeah, it's 1 year experience, though.
But that's all you need in NBA nowadays.
You reckon?
Yes, because OKC were in the playoffs last year. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm going to say Boston. I think wallop New York, in my opinion. I think they'll just get the better of them. They'll have the experience. They
And
know
New York burns down.
Yeah. As soon as New York have one bad game, it's a lot of bad games for New York. I think the Pacers hold on against the Cavs. Pacers hold on against the Cavs. I think the Cavs are finally starting to feel that pushback that we've been saying all season will happen.
They have been on for a watch for a long time.
And no Garland means no nothing. It depends what time he comes in the series. If it's not in the next 2 games, I think it's over. OKC will probably wipe the Nuggets just. I actually genuinely think it would be a 7-game series.
I think Jokic is that good.
I think Jokic in playoffs is different.
Yeah.
Like it's this will be depending on how the defense of OKC goes against the offensive Nuggets, which is sometimes not existent. But if Michael Porter Jr. can actually have a good game, Christian,
that's a big
it's
what
a
if.
big what if. But these players who aren't stepping up massively right now start having good games in when they need to be, because they've shown in the past they can. It'll be a close series. And then I think the Timberwolves smashed the Warriors, to be honest.
Yep, fair enough.
I think Ant will have the generational series that continues on because he just looks too good. Looks way too good.
He's just doing that for the cameras now.
In the grand seas of the cardboard water, that was Miami. Did you see that? That was pretty
Yes.
funny. The Miami Grand Prix happened, and we haven't talked about F1 for a bit.
No, we haven't.
But someone, there we go. That's English there. Someone is dominating.
The man from Melbourne.
The man from Melbourne, Oscar Piastri, has just won his 3rd race in a row, 4 and 5.
On fire.
This guy's only 1 year older than us too. 2 years older than you, Jim, but 1 year's older than us.
I know, it's annoying. It's annoying. He continued with his form recently. After the sprint race with Lando winning, getting the 1-2 with Lando. Now Lando should have probably been leading this race for a fair bit.
Yeah.
If he could actually capitalize instead of going off track.
Yeah.
But Oscar was able to avoid the early drama that was Max and Lando and Antonelli all having cracks at each other. And just continued to slowly build up with Max just not knowing what to do at that first turn.
Yeah. Well, I think when he started the third. I think it was third or fourth on the grid. Yeah. He's the best attacker in the whole of the F1. The moves he makes and is able to get through gaps that sometimes seem insurmountable. He takes risks, and so far in all the races he's taken those risks, they've paid off.
It was a great switch back because Max went way too deep trying to defend.
Yeah.
So once again, just reading the situation, slowed down massively. Max went way too far. Then just continued to dominate and just stay way out front, even with all the safety cars going on. Only 4 seconds in front of Lando, but to put it into context, McLaren were 32 seconds in front of third place Russell.
Yeah.
So I think McLaren might win the championship, guys.
I think they're pretty
What?
good. I think it's a pretty good car.
Hot take, right? I think McLaren might win.
Well,
Wow.
it's going to be the last year they're going to dominate by this much probably, and when they bring in the new cars for next season, I think it's going to bring a new fresh slate.
Yeah.
To what we're going to see.
Hopefully.
But yeah, I think McLaren are going to win the Constructors' Championship by about 400 points.
Probably the way it's
big
going.
lead already. It's gonna be hard for another team to surmount.
It was not a great waste.
Waste.
We.
It was well okay. Wait, nah. Jack Doohan had his
What are you
race.
doing? What is he doing?
He actually didn't do anything wrong.
He's out of his depth.
No, he actually didn't do anything
No, he
wrong.
got clouded by
He
Liam
and he had a
Lawson.
great race the week before. Just got screwed over by strategy. Yeah, Liam Lawson, who's having the horror show of a season that is.
Just get rid of him. Sack him off.
I feel so bad for him because he actually had such a great season last season
Yeah, I know.
coming in. But doing I got tangled in with Lawson. Lawson took off his tire. It was all Lawson's fault, the actual incident.
Yeah.
His horror season continues. This is another 2 weeks in a row he's been shafted by
Stooge.
different things. Hopefully we can actually see him race a full race properly without being completely shafted.
Yeah.
Question for you before we move on.
Mm-hmm.
Is Miami the worst race,
Yeah,
America?
or in America, yes.
or is it Las Vegas?
No, Miami's worse.
Vegas. I hate
Vegas is
as
bad.
well.
Miami's
They're both
bad.
really
Why
bad
do America have all the worst races?
because they
American,
build
they're
street
weird.
circuits when they don't need to.
That's true.
Americans are weird. That's why.
Remember the first year they brought it to Miami, they went through the stadium?
Yes, they had to ruin that because at least that was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun. And
Mario Kart
Stephen
shit.
Ross, the Miami Dolphins owner, had the trophy presentation, and I just wanted to punch the TV screen. He's ruining my NFL franchise. But Piastri now goes 16 points clear at the front.
This is a late.
It's a good lead. Basically means that he doesn't have to finish in the top 3 in a race where Lando wins to still be in it. But still early season. Still anything can happen.
Yeah.
And I believe the next race we're going to Italy.
Did you not know where Emilia is?
What?
Did you not know where Emilia is?
I knew where Emilio was on Sunday.
Congrats, mate.
Well
Did you read the website properly?
Yeah, I did.
Right, real close, and then they go.
No, it has to be the same distance. It has to be a bit there.
Oh, well, it's about 20 metres max.
Okay, so 20 minutes. Bang. I'm literally going to put cement in my water bottle and go.
All right, guys, we have arrived at the best time of the show. Rock melon of the week.
Rock melon.
I'm now picking a new type of melon each week.
Cocoa melon next week.
I've decided.
Oh.
I've decided that's now our trend.
No.
Melon
No.
of the week. It is the time where we look at 5 incredibly dumb people, organisations, sport clubs, whatever in the sports world that have done some silly things. And we've got some real good ones this week.
I like
This week was very
We've
packed.
had a quiet month. Like, there hasn't been a lot of absurd stuff going on.
And then everything happened this week.
Yeah, of course. That's the way it goes.
Oh.
Everything happens at once. Who wants to kick us off number 5?
I'll kick us off at number 5. We have Willie Rioli, Port Adelaide star Willie Rioli. We know his troubled history with the law.
Lots of things.
He's done a lot of things that he probably shouldn't have done. However, he's been brought up in a bit of a scandal this week.
What?
That scandal.
What? You got brought up in one?
No way.
Um,
Anyway.
So he sent a message to Western Bulldogs star Bailey Dale.
Was it a message or was it something said
It was
on the
over a
field?
story.
Was it over a story? I thought it was a
It was,
message.
it was sending a message over a story.
Apologies. But
Whoa.
he sent a message over story, if that's correct, threatening Bailey Dale to be careful when he goes to Darwin this week, saying that he has certain people up there, so he should lock his doors and stay inside.
He also said they always forget who punches first. But Bailey Dale just kind of pushes him, and then Willie Rolly goes, "No, I'm going to strike you now."
So he got away with $1,000 fine from the AFL. That was just for striking him.
Yeah, I think now that this has come out, it might be a bit more.
I think it might be a week now.
He's going to be in a bit of trouble here. You can't threaten someone.
No, that's quite literally a death threat.
Yeah, we know the AFL takes this stuff seriously with
No,
mental
don't.
health stuff like that.
Absolutely not.
Because Noah Bolter got 4 weeks.
Oh, shit, yeah. But Willie, what are you doing? We know you get in this trouble, but stay out of it.
He does this a lot. Done a lot of dodgy
Stupid
things in his
Willie.
career.
So you're a melon.
Yeah, he's going in there.
Now, number 4, NFL punters and kickers are surprisingly getting a lot of playtime in the bad category. Last year we had Harrison Butker for his great politics and great views. This year we have a Deshaun Watson 2.0. Justin Tucker, one of the greatest kickers of all time, has decided to do a Deshaun Watson, and allegedly
Allegations.
has done a few things with some more masseuses. Now, Justin Tucker isn't the only one at fault here. So first, Justin, what the hell? Did you not see what happened with Deshaun and go, maybe I don't ask for the happy ending?
It's NFL players. They don't think.
This is Shannon Sharpie all over again.
No, not
Okay,
no.
those
We
texts
didn't put that
were
in.
way worse.
We didn't say those ones. Anyway, Baltimore then also came out with an absolute whopper, saying that they are not going to be basing their decision on whether Justin Tucker plays for them or not on the outcome of what happens with this legal issue. No, they're basing it on his actual performance.
Oh my God.
Now, he's had his worst season last year.
Yes.
And they drafted a kicker. So I have a feeling I know what's going to happen.
An inkling.
A little inkling.
So they're just using that as a cop-out for what's really going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just admit it. Just admit
Yeah.
I was about to say, you're not going to play someone who's broken the law.
Well, Cleveland did.
Yeah, but Cleveland are a mess. So are Baltimore, to be honest.
Oh, not that bad. They have
Not as bad. They're in actually nice. I was thinking of New Orleans for a second. Apologies.
Yeah, wrong one, mate. I don't go for them in the NFL.
Oh, that's right. You go for
I go for Miami, which is even worse. But yeah, Justin Tucker, what the hell? Baltimore, what the hell? You are both melons.
Right.
No good.
Number 3. This guy's been in this list a couple times this year. He tries out a lot.
Fair enough.
He's done some funny
for
things.
Tumultuous 12 months. Ex-Kangaroo player Taron Thomas. You are in this melon this week.
To be honest, he's lucky he wasn't in there last week.
Very lucky that we were being nice and didn't put him in.
So Mitch Cleary reported Sunday morning about Taron Thomas had a misdemeanor with him and another man were allegedly caught in possession of drugs and deal bags in the CBD of Melbourne. It was a 25-year-old Thomastown man and a 25-year-old Ormond man, both expected to be charged. This came after the Lamborghini the males were both in were spotted in a no-standing zone.
That's the dumbest part.
Yeah.
Why would you park your, I'm assuming, a very bright Lamborghini in a no-standing zone
When
you know what you have in your car?
If you're breaking the law, do it smartly.
He's done back-to-back weeks where he's got
The Ballarat
kidnapped
car deal.
in Ballarat. And now this. No wonder no AFL team or VFL team want you.
We figured it out a while ago. He's not very smart.
The Northern Bullets really gave it a crack first. They had to go to the board.
Look how that turned out.
Yeah.
So Taron, get off this list, please. No more lists to be on. You're a melon.
Any minuscule chance he'd ever come back? Gone.
He might be leading the melons of the year because he's been on that many
Oh,
times.
there's some good ones. There's a better one coming up ahead.
Yeah. Number 2. We're gonna. This one's I think it was a while ago, but it's come out.
It's come out recently.
It's come out in the news. Do you guys remember Dimitri Payet?
He was one of the best free kick.
Scored the best free kick in Premier League history.
He's scored so many good free kicks. He was.
Everyone knows the one. Top
You
bins.
don't remind me
Was that against United?
Yeah, it was the final game at a certain ground.
Anyway, you were literally not a fan then. Shut up.
What?
Anyway, he's come out in the news. He's being investigated by Brazilian police over accusations of physical and psychological violence towards his mistress, whatever that means.
He's a fair partner.
Yeah. He allegedly forced Larissa Ferrari to drink her own urine and lick the floor, as well as pushing and stepping on her.
Dimitri.
What is with these French people?
Okay, it's getting political.
These Frenchies.
Like, what?
Well, isn't he still? He's playing somewhere.
He's playing Brazil.
He's playing Brazil now.
Vasco da Gama.
Yeah, well, this is obviously happening in Brazil because the Brazilian police are onto it.
Dimitri.
Like, if you're going to do anything, just don't do that. That's assault.
It's just so.
It's just wrong.
So French.
It's French.
Is that a personal dig at my partial French
I'm deep in
heritage?
the French. What's that word?
It is
Very
French.
Oh God.
Maybe this
Dimitri.
might get the US to not ban us. We talk about the French politics.
Anyway, that was absurd.
That's how am I supposed to look at those free kicks ever again?
Yeah, you can't. You're going to have this burning
Can.
image in your head of what Dimitri's doing with Larissa.
Every time he does that free kick, piss.
No.
No.
It's shocking, and therefore he's a melon and somehow not number one, because number one is mental.
Now, we all get excited about football sometimes.
I love football.
Some people get a little bit too excited. Like some people, sometimes in an Anzac Day game, people get heated.
You sometimes want to run through a wall.
Yeah, and sometimes running through a wall, the nearest wall was actually an opposition fan. And sometimes there's brawls. Normally it's like just a little bit of fisticuffs. Nothing.
More of the world game thing.
Yeah.
They're very invested in the game.
Yes, and Atalanta versus Inter was on the weekend, and both fan bases get very passionate, and
It's Italian league. They love it.
they love it. And both of them took it so far that they had brawls through the streets. So far that one person got stabbed and died.
Jesus Christ.
What?
It was Atalanta fan, I believe. That was
Died or stabbed?
stabbed and died.
So the Inter fan was
The
Yeah.
fan killed.
Yeah. So, guys, number one, why did you have a knife
Yeah.
at a game, like going towards the game?
Expect this in Tane, not in Italy.
Okay, you're working there.
Yeah, no.
It'll lock your door, mate. But number one, why was there a knife?
Yeah.
Number two, why on earth are you brawling in the streets before the game even starts?
Yeah, it's not that deep, is it?
I understand that the fans, like the ultras, are super passionate, and it also gets a little bit political.
It's just not
Needing to be a brawl in the streets that has like 1,000 people involved.
No.
Number three, how did someone die? How do you?
Italian soccer brings us some great stories we've learned.
Because the fans are mental.
They still like. Is it comparable to the Lazio trainer?
Oh, that is just weird. Honestly, that one was just weird.
What the fuck? That's the first swear I've had this whole podcast.
Yeah, because it's ridiculous.
Now just let it all out.
Yeah. What the? No, I'm kidding. But Atalanta and Inter fans, why? You're just massive melons. Massive rock melons.
Inter fans are just excited because they've got a chance of making the Champions League final.
If they knock off Barcelona, oh god.
They might.
They could.
They might.
Imagine it Inter Milan versus PSG.
The battle of the two fraud teams.
Sorry, Arsenal.
Well, we're clearly not making it anyway.
It's not too late.
There's always time in Paris.
Just ask Kanye.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Well, that's the end of the podcast.
We're ending it on a Kanye
We're
moment.
not coming back next week after that statement.
No, we're done.
We don't agree with what Kanye's done.
No, especially that last song he's released. Well, hint at.
I think a lot of songs that we don't agree with
I
recently.
think Kanye's entire year we don't agree with.
I think the last few years.
Just remember Kanye from about 2016 and forget about him after that.
No, even before then he was off the rails.
Yeah, before Jesus.
Yes.
Oh,
Jesus was off the rails, but
point.
it was still good.
oh boy.
Oh my god.
Good pod, boys.
Anyway.
Thanks.
We all good?
Thanks, Jay.
Do you like that good conversation,
I
man?
do. It's good back and forth.
Yeah, it's good podcasting,
I like
that.
I'm Ethan Stone.
I'm James Eyles.
I'm John T. Perry.
Stay Nuffin.